People don't know this, but one of the reasons my husband played through injuries and pain was because he said he remembered being a little kid, sitting in the nosebleeds with his dad to watch his favorite player play.
I hope my children come and visit once or twice a month. Soon I'll be 60 years old. Will I think the world is cold, or will I?
The bottom line is, no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off, tell you to get out the door and exercise, to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. It's up to you.
Why would they want one? What's the number one thing that motivates guys in relationships? We're all thinking the same thing, and they can get that whenever they want, with no commitment nowadays. They can meet that need, live on their own, make their own decisions, and do what else they want to do. We've devalued sharing our lives and decisions. We look at it as more of a chore now, and most relationships survive on the feeling of love until that wears out because it's temporary, and then they have to really love someone, and that requires work, effort, and they don't want to do that anymore.
Go down! Think fast! Listen, that child is going to be a pro athlete.
I put this soda up, and I drop them, because I don't care. I don't care.
Hi, Jesse. Next time, just say you want to go out so you don't need to climb through a window with all your friends. I hope you had fun, were safe, and didn't crap your pants when I started talking. I may go viral on TikTok with this. Thanks for the content.
Wait. That's amazing. Fuck you. I love you. I love you. No, look at me. I love you. I love you. Fuck you.
Wait, that's actually the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That's the funniest shit I've ever heard. That's the funniest shit I've ever heard.
What do I do when I'm broken? When I'm broken, I relish it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use it. Because if I'm broken, then I just found my limitations. And until I know what my limitations are, how can I push them? How can I get better? But once I see it, once I feel it, once I see where I was broken, then I can attack that weakness. I can fill in that gap. I can reinforce that breach.
This literally scares me. So guys, if you don't follow your dreams, this is where you'll be for the rest of your life. Look at this. Sitting here hours every day. Chase your fucking dreams. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. You don't want to be stuck.
The reason why you're not confident is very simple. The reason why you're not confident in who you are is because when you look in the mirror, you are not the person that you want to be. Who you want to be versus who you act out in your day-to-day life are two different people. The person you want to be is probably not acting like you, not looking like you, not talking like you, not feeling like you. You are not acting out the person that you want to be. So, how do you do this? It's very simple. I will tell you in part 2, so make sure to like this video and follow.
The electric car industry would not exist without Elon, and yet there is contempt and hatred for the fact that he did this through private initiative. The
because he does it in a way that is not checking the boxes for this cohort of people who feel incredibly insecure and fragile emotionally. They don't like that he says what he wants. They don't like that he does what he wants. They don't like any of it because it's not conformist enough. I actually think what it is psychological. It is nothing about money. I think what we are witnessing, and I think social media has just blown the cover off it, is a psychological awakening that people have, which is that they were comfortable knowing that there was a class of insiders and a huge cohort of outsiders, and they just believed the world would function as it should. Now you see people migrating through this membrane, achieving enormous amounts of success, basically eclipsing every single insider possible by orders of magnitude, and it breaks people's brains because they don't like it, because now they think, why not me? And the thing is, because you're not capable. The greatest thing that I've learned about the public markets now, having been purely on the early stage technology side, building, running, then investing, is I get a mark every day. And some days I really think to myself, maybe I'm just not good enough today. And I say to myself, that is true today. And then the difference is tomorrow I have a choice, which is I wake up and I decide, am I going to go back at it or not? And I'm not going to hate on other people who had a good day today just because I had a bad day.
If you have any memories or experiences you continually dwell on, listen up.
Future, because the purpose of memory isn't to remember the past. The purpose of memory is so that you figure out what went wrong when something went wrong, so you don't duplicate it in the future. So that's the purpose of memory. And the past authoring program can help people catch up. And you know you have to catch up if you have memories that are older than about a year and a half that still cause you emotional pain when you think about them, or if you dwell on them, they come spontaneously back to mind. It means that there's part of your life that you haven't mapped out properly, and it still has emotional valence that's gripping you.
You're still holding on to that story.
Or it's still holding on to you.
Interesting.
Right,
You haven't let it go.
Yeah, well, you haven't been able to navigate your way through it. There's a pitfall there that you fell in, and you don't know how to avoid similar pitfalls in the future, and that's why your brain won't let it go. Because it's saying, that's what the anxiety systems do. It's like, this happened to you, it wasn't good. This happened to you, it wasn't good. This happened to you, it wasn't good. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. That will never go away unless you fix it.
How do you fix it?
Well, you have to figure out why it happened, right? That's the first thing, is like, how was it that situation arose to pull you down? And that's not simple. That's why we have the writing program, because it's complicated to think it through. But if you face it and you meditate on it, let's say, and you do this voluntarily, there's a pretty high probability that you'll be able to decrease the probability that will be repeated in the future. So,
Do I like being single? Yeah. Do I want to be in a relationship? Absolutely. But here's the thing. I'll continue to be single until somebody can match my energy, because I'd rather be single than be in a half-assed relationship.
Above everything else, a rational man.
A rational man.
Rational man. A man guided exclusively by reason, an independent man, and a man of great self-esteem. And certainly an ideal man would never permit himself to act on the guidance of emotions or to act without knowing exactly what he's doing. If he's guided by reason, this will be the first two consequences. He will always know what he's doing and why, and he will not act blindly, and he would not act because he felt like it. To my ideal man and to me, this is one of the worst, most immoral actions that anyone can permit himself to say, I did it because I felt like it. It's quite all right to feel, but feelings are not tools of cognition. They are not guides to reality, and you keep your feelings to yourself. Feelings are the consequences of thought and action, not the primaries.
learn things painfully. When you learn something painfully, a part of you has to die. That's the pain. When a dream is shattered, for example, a huge part of you that constituted that dream, maybe even the biological substrate of that dream, has to be stripped away and burned. And so life is a constant process of death and rebirth. And To participate in that fully is to allow yourself to be redeemed by it. And so the good is that process of death and rebirth, voluntarily undertaken. It's like you're not as good as you could be, so you let that part of you die. And if someone comes along and says, you know, there's some dead wood here, man, it needs to be burned off. You think, well, that stuff's still a bit alive. When that burns, it's gonna hurt. It's like, yeah, well, no kidding. But maybe the thing that emerges in its place is something better. We can let our old selves die and let our new selves be born.
You know, most of the parkings in Belgium are free. Let me tell you why. The machines to pay the parkings work with solar panels. Let me show you. You see? But it is free. Why? Because there is never a fucking sun in Belgium. I don't care because I don't have a car. I don't have a license. I don't have a life. I don't have myself.